Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Ranting Redhead. I am the host, Aiden. Today I want to talk about another work encounter that I had, and here's what it was. We've all met this person. We don't know their name, but we remember their personality. We know what kind of person they are when they admit that they're rude and proceed to be rude. They act like it gives them a free pass, like a universal free pass to be rude to anybody, but as long as they preface it that, I'm not going to be nice, so deal with it. If it's just giving us a warning, doesn't mean you're any less of a rude person. In fact, you're more of a dumbbell. That's just me. But I think we can all relate to that. We all know that one person, and I'll tell you what happened. So I'm working, and the person right behind me working, there was a person who was like, yeah, I'm paying all with pennies. I have cash, but I need to get rid of it, and, well, you look like you need something to do. I know it's time-consuming, but, well, you gotta deal with it. And I'm like, wow, that is just the most awful thing I have heard in a long time, and I really wanted to backhand this loser. This person who clearly is off their medication and has to be put in an insane asylum just to stop bothering me, just so I can get some peace and quiet. Will you? Just go away. Don't do that. Don't be near me. I don't want to deal with you. But here's the other thing. You're even more of a worse person than if you didn't admit it. You're even more of an ass, because here's what you do. You're admitting that you're terrible, but you're like, I'm still gonna do it. That makes you a worse person, and no wonder why your wife left you. I mean, I don't blame her. That's the reason why you're so unhappy, because you're a prick, and you admit that you're a prick, but you refuse to relinquish it. You refuse to change in any way, shape, or form. And that's my problem with society. But I also have another one that I want to throw out there. Now this one could be a little controversial, like how I tend to be. But here's what it is, all right? So I'm working the register yesterday, and this couple comes up. These two biker losers. And if you've seen my channel, you know I am no fan of motorcycles, and especially motorcycle people for the most part. I hate most of them. Like, people that obsess over motorcycles, can't stand them, but I've done a whole episode about that. But these people walk in, clearly, they look like they are strung out of their frickin' mind. And they walk in. They're going all throughout the store. They get a big cart full of stuff. Now, here's the thing. They're both pushing the cart, but they're also, holding and fondling, a carton of, 250 cigarettes. We don't sell cigarettes at my store. So they brought it in, and literally, they're opening it, they're not smoking, they're just touching the cigarettes. They're just touching them. And I don't understand that, but anyway. Then, they get a bunch of stuff, and these people looked about they were in their 40s, I would say. But hey, you know what? They could age horribly like me. So they might be 20, but I don't know. But I highly, highly doubt that. All right? So they come up, they bring up all their stuff, about $300 worth of stuff, right? Half of it was food. The other half was paper towels, paper plates, medicine, all just other stuff. And they had food stamps, and they paid it, and I was like, yeah, you still owe $150 ago. And then the woman goes, well, I don't have that! How am I supposed to pay? And I'm like, ma'am, that's not up to me. You're the one who tried to buy. It's like, I'll pay you later. And I go, no, you're not. And I said, no, you're going to pay me now, or you're going to pay me now, or you're going to get out. And you're not going to get anything. And of course she's like, well, I already paid for this. And I said, no, you didn't. I avoided it. And so she still owed all the money. And once again, the whole time she's yelling at me, just being a rancid loser. And the husband is still fondling the cigarettes. Not even paying attention. And I'm like, what is the deal with you people? How do you not, everybody knows you cannot pay for medicine with food stamps. You pay You can only get food with food stamps. Are you that stupid? Like, seriously, how incompetent are you? I mean, this is the type of person, like I said, that she looked really strung out, I will say. But still, I'm like, well, I got to deal with it, so I don't have sympathy because I don't care what you do, you're still being a prick to me. So anyone who's like, well, you don't know her situation, blah 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 blah. I don't care what her situation is because I have to deal with it, and she's gonna be rude to me. So I'm gonna be rude back. And hey, I'm not saying any names because I found out her name, and believe me, if ugly had a name, it would be this. It would be this woman. Believe me. Yeah, her name and her looks horrible. Another thing I want to talk about, segueing, but it all stays in the work zone. You see what I'm saying? Or you hear what I'm saying? More like it. I'm using air quotes, there's a man who I work with, and I won't say his name, but we'll call him General Incompetence. Now, General Incompetence is somewhat of a higher up by title, but by IQ, my God, he is what maintenance have to clean up in the parking lot. But like this guy, I never had a problem with him until recently. And I actually made an episode just ranting about him, but I was like, "You know what? I'm going to be the bigger man. I had 2 encounters with him. He was a prick to me, but I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to be the bigger man, but if he keeps going, I'm going to do it." And that's what I'm doing right now. All right. So, this guy, General Incompetence, and I'll tell you the big one that really just pushed me over the edge with him. Because before he had done 2 other things. And one day, someone calls me up, like 9 o'clock at night, right? And we close at 11. I get a call at 9 at night, and not on my personal phone, just at work. And they were saying, yeah, this guy, didn't even leave me his name, was like, "Hey, I'm coming in the morning to grab such and such, and I need you to leave a note saying that I am coming in to grab it." Now, it's something, and like, it was so stupid, he wanted to come in and grab a bunch of boxes, and I go, okay, I can leave a note, but you're not telling me your name, and I would recommend calling back in the morning because every other department is gone for the night. And then instantly it was, "How effing dare you talk to me that way? I can't believe you're making me get up at 4 o'clock in the effing morning just to make me make a phone call." And here's the thing, we don't open at 4 o'clock, we open at 6. And I go, "Sir, I never said you had to wake up at 4 in the morning. I said I would leave a note. I'm just recommending you something." "No, no, 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 no. See, I'm gonna call the owner of the company and say you can't do your job because you're stupid. And what is your freaking name?" And I hung up. I wasn't gonna deal with that anymore. I'm like, anybody in their right mind would have hung up. And when I used to close the store, I even talked to the boss, and he said, "Look, someone's being belligerent to you, kick him out." So in my mind, I'm like, it's no different than on the phone. They're being rude, they're cursing at me, I'm gonna hang up the phone. So then trying to be helpful, call up General Incompetence. And General Incompetence, I don't know what his problem was. Maybe he just got rejected by the 5th girl in an hour on Tinder that he had to create a second account for because he probably got banned. But I call him up and I tell him the situation, and he goes, "Oh, great, Aiden, thanks. Now I'm gonna get in trouble because you need to call General Incompetence up to deal with something that you can't deal with. Thanks to the freaking law, Aiden. Now I'm gonna get in effing trouble. Thanks, Aiden." And I told him, I was like, "Dude, are you stupid? Like, look, nobody's gonna get in trouble, believe me. But if anybody was to get in trouble, it would be me. You had nothing to do with it." He goes, "Oh, thanks a lot, Aiden," and just storms off and goes to pout again and then complain to his ex-wife begging her to take him back. So then, the next day I come in, the owner comes up to me like almost immediately. And now the owners are very friendly, like he and I are very friendly towards each other. So he comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Aiden, did you hang up the phone on a customer last night?" And I said, "Yeah, a customer was swearing at me, being rude." So I hung up. He goes, "Oh, okay, cool." And it was like, yeah, I told him what happened, saying that, a customer was going to call him up. And he goes, yeah, nobody called me. Nobody was ever going to call me. So I'm like, so then I realized, I'm like, oh, so now he's trying to get me in trouble. Okay. Okay. So now I know what a level of a prick he is now. So now I'm going to screw with him because now look, anybody who personally knows me wants this information, I'll tell you who it is. I'm not going to reveal over the ranting redhead channel. That would not be proper. I am the bigger man, of course. And that wasn't a fat joke, although I am probably bigger than him. And so here's the other thing that happened. So we have to do this stupid thing. It's just like what's called a general safety message of the day. It's so stupid. It's always stupid things. And I think most of the people at the company, I am willing to bet, including the boss, would tell you that it's stupid, but it's just something that has to be done. I understand that. Like, just look friendly for the cameras. I get that. It's stupid. I don't agree with it, but whatever. So he comes up to me, General Incompetence comes up to me the other day, and because when I got there, my other supervisor that I was filling in for, she was telling me, like, general safety message is, be careful with sharp objects, knives, but that doesn't apply up here, and just don't strain yourself lifting hefty things, blah, 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 blah. Stuff I've heard a million, billion times before. I don't care, but I was like, okay. Didn't think anything of it. She left. I took over for the night. And then General Incompetence comes up to me, and he goes, Aiden, do you know the safety message of the day? Do you happen to know it, Aiden? And I go, don't strain yourself lifting heavy objects. And that's all I was told. And he goes, literally could not be farther from the truth. That's so stupid. You don't handle knives. You have to be careful when handling knives. Now, first of all, here's the thing. I think anybody who's 3 years and older knows you have to be careful with a knife, numbnuts. It's so stupid. At least with anybody else who has to tell me this, they're just like going through the motions, but he's taking it 100% seriously, like I'm an incompetent. Anybody knows you don't be an idiot with knives. Only you don't know that, General Incompetence, because, well, hey, what can I say? You have an IQ of 3. And I'm at least twice that. So, what happened? Oh, yeah. So I tell him, General Incompetence, most people up here ring on a cash register. We don't use knives. And then he goes, scissors? Are you telling me that you don't use scissors either? And I go, yeah, they're cashiers. They don't need to use scissors. And he goes, okay, boxes. So how do you, tell me, Aiden, so how do you happen to open a box? And so I was like, I take a pen, I poke it, and I poke the tape, and I rip it. And then he just stands there, just all defeated. I'm like, just making those noises. Just trying to come up with something else to try to bring me down. But I'm going to tell you what. This guy, listen, I'm very you'll never meet someone more self-deprecating but yet funnier than me. Unless they're a professional comedian, of course. But this guy, I don't know, like, someone needs to hit him with a dose of reality because his life is far more sad than mine. Like, here's the thing. I can't get a girl because of my looks. Personality department, skyrocket high. This guy, however, both. Oh my god, looks worse than me, surprisingly. And his personality is that of a dead moth. It's so disgusting. Everybody hates this guy. Everybody wants him to leave. Nobody likes him. He's just an ass to everybody. And I wanted to vent about it. And I thought maybe it could be entertainment. I thought it could be a little bit entertaining for you guys to hear my work stories dealing with people of an IQ of 3. And I even told one of the other general incompetences there. This guy's not nearly as incompetent as the actual general incompetence, but same job title. And I told him, I said, look, if the real general incompetence does this again, I have a whole plan set up, and he's not gonna like it. So test me, bitch. We'll see what happens. I am a real man, and you are a pale shadow of me. You're not as cool, you're not as talented, you're not as funny, and you're just plain stupid. That's all I have to say. Now apologize to me, and you know what? I'll apologize to you. And I'll even apologize. I'll do an episode just dedicating a whole apology. The odds are it'll be fake because I stand by my word. But we'll see what happens. I'm willing to be the bigger man. That's my other favorite thing at work now. I love how I always have to be in the middle of a feud with someone. And here's the thing, I don't think I ever start one. I I will not back down. If someone starts it with me, I'll go toe to toe with you, and I will not back down. Anybody who knows me knows I am too stubborn to ever relinquish my opinion. But I don't think I really start one. Like, someone really has to mess stuff up for me. I think I'm a pretty friendly guy around most people, but boy, oh boy, did this guy really, really try to screw me over. But it's funny because there's other people that I work with that all have feuds with each other, and everybody comes to me about it, and I'm just like, and the whole time, like, I give, like, yeah, you know, this. And a lot of the times I try to be fair to each person. Like, there are two sides to every coin. I understand that. But in my head, I'm also thinking, like, I'm like, man, thank God it is not me this time. Whew. And that's all I have to say about that situation. Now, before I go, I also want to mention something that's going to be somewhat new to the channel. Well, it is new in a way. So in a little over 2 weeks, I have to start a college radio show. And I'll be playing music, doing new themes, maybe a few contests on the show. But it's just going to be me. And I've thought about putting it on this channel just to almost have like a resume of like, hey, you know, this was my college radio show. And the best way I can describe it for people who want to listen, because it'll be 2 hours each. There will be commercials and whatnot, but if you want to listen to it live, all you have to do is go to wgfr.org, and you can just hit play and it'll stream whatever's playing currently. My show will be Fridays from noon to 2, but I will also be putting it on my YouTube channel for anybody interested. It'll be a good show to put on when you're doing other things. Like, I don't think it'll be as engaging because I gotta play commercials, music, all that. And I'm not saying this show's as engaging, but I figured I'd promote it. I'm calling it the Pork Chop Express, named after a great film. And if you know what the Pork Chop Express is, well, that just makes you even cooler. And, that was the other thing I really wanted to say about General Incompetence. Sorry, I wanted to just swing back around and say this one more thing. Here's what makes him, without giving specifics on his life, here's what makes his life more pathetic than mine. He is always bitter. Like, this girl won't return my text. Well, I'm like, well, where would you meet her? Oh, on Tinder. I'm like, how long have you been talking to her for? Well, you know, I matched with her an hour ago. I sent her a message, but she never responded to me. What am I gonna do? And I'm like, that's what makes my life better. At least I can get outside of your basement from eating Cheetos in your damp-ridden bed pool, and just actually getting outside and maybe meeting someone that way instead of just hiding in a damp, infested cockroach hell pit that you happen to live in. And yeah, that's what makes my life better. And hey, you know what? For once, I'm not self-deprecating. So anybody because there's a lot of people that for some reason get so upset when I'm self-deprecating. Well, hey, you know what? I'm not being self-deprecating today. I'm taking it out on someone else. So if you don't like it, go F yourself. And with that, I'm going to end the episode. Thank you all so much for listening, and I look forward to talking to you all later. Bye-bye!